Well, here we go again, another day like Friday. And the SPY, look at this, on very low volume, has a massive move upward, so another short squeeze. And if you go look at your grid on your internals, you'll wait 1 second here, it'll load. And let me put her on pause for a sec. Okay, I finally loaded. Basically, our internals weren't looking too hot there at the beginning of the day. Our UVol up volume versus down volume, we're still negative on the day. We still have more negative down, a lot more down volume in the markets, despite the fact that we're getting a short squeeze. So we are getting a divergence going on here between the indicators and what's actually going on in the markets. The ticks have been kind of flat for the most of the day. Now we're finally catching some above 500 ticks, supporting the move higher on the indices. Qs are squeezing big time today. Look at this volume squeezing right up into the primary trend again. So they are establishing that the trend has not been broken, and all this breaking out of the trend down here is just it doesn't mean anything what you're saying right here. So keep that in mind going forward. Um, what's going on here in the markets, and then you look at the Qs, the grid. Really, just anemic ticks today, despite the short squeeze going on here. The advanced UVol devol is better for the Qs, but the SPY is actually, like I said, had the negative advanced decline, so or negative had descending volume, a lot more descending volume on the SPY versus the Qs. Okay, and if we go to the IWM. IWM's not catching quite the bid. It's got a little bit of a responsive bid here. Um, so just keep that in mind going forward here. We do have I think got the 50 SMA. So just keep that in mind going forward here that we're just going out sideways here on our Russell. And if you look at the quad on it, pretty anemic ticks going on here. We actually had advancing versus our declining. Uh, Finally turned positive. We're positive on the other one too. But if you go down here and zoom in, we're just kind of trapped inside of this overlapping. That is a really tight daily pattern that we've got going on here. So we might actually be getting a breakout move setting up here in the Russell to the upside, and that might be a squeeze setting up in some of our energy space, seeing that develop here. I traded some Apple this morning. It opened breaking. It opened breaking the 20 SMA, but rallied back hard after that. Excuse me. Uh, on this pop upward here, I actually started initiating some shorts, but oh, let me show you what I don't have it on the chart. 1 second. Okay, one little trick to help keep yourself from getting in trouble. If you're seeing a stock that's really bearish and you want to short it, a lot of people overlook this. You look and see the closing price from the day before and what it's currently trading at in the morning session. And I add the ATR on here, so we had a $7 move, and basically near the lows of the session, we got basically a $7 move down, pretty close to it. So just keep that in mind going forward. You don't want to be adding short positions whenever you're already maxing out your ATR. And I did Apple, and I ended up actually losing money on the trade, but I didn't get it near the bottom. It came up further. I got it at a higher price, but I didn't get it good enough. And but the thing was, I knew that I was already at an extreme ATR positioning, so I went half lot size. Okay, so that's one of those little tricks that you can keep yourself out of trouble going forward. And I just thought I'd let you guys know that. But yeah, my first trade on Apple this morning, I came back up to this line here, and with puts, and it just never came back. I thought it was going to continue down in this range, and yeah, I was underwater for that. But what saved me was my win. I had full lot size on that one, and I actually did comparison on the ATR and stuff. And uh, so when resorts this morning, it really paid. I sold earlier at a little bit higher prices, and so between the two trades, I actually pretty well washed out on the trading, and so I was happy with that to start the day off. And then a little bit later, I took another Apple put position on the. Let's see here, where's it at? I can get it to pull up here. Let me put it on pause. Okay, a little bit later, it came up and it tagged the bottom of my uh, market webs value area, and I did take a put position for a responsive sell. So I made some nice little money on that, just a little bitty scalp right there, because I was still bearish after talking to Amy this morning, and I wanted to stick with her bias. You know, I know she really knows Apple inside and out, and I didn't want to be on the wrong side of the trade, which turns out I guess I was, but I did manage to make some money with Apple. And then Netflix. We had the Oscars behind us, and there's not really any news to support price. And it came right up here. Well, let's see here. I think it's a 15-minute chart. Yeah. That Venom line's acting as resistance, and I saw that is resisting right there. So I put in a put position right down here, and it has backed off the whole way back down to value. I just took a small scalp trade on that and made some decent green. By doing both my Apple trade and Netflix with a little bit of size, I was able to lock in a couple of weeks' wages just off those small little trades. So I was really happy with that. So considering that I was trading puts in a very, very bullish market, uh, I'm pretty happy with the success that I had. And we'll come back tomorrow and reload. But this strength is just unreal. And I had some really significant resistance on Microsoft. And as you can see what's happening here, it just absolutely rip your face off rally up above my resistance. And I'm saying this is not some small resistance that is going on with Microsoft. And to see them to do that today, that just that really takes me off. It took me completely off guard to see that happening because I actually was preparing to load uh, big time to the short side there for last Friday, and so that's something to keep on watch going forward here. That Microsoft has cracked above my serious resistance area, and I actually considered doing the Tesla trade too, but those options are ungodly expensive, and so I said I was going to get the puts. And well, look, it's breaking down as we speak. It'd have been a really nice trade, but heck, for one contract, $4,000 for a contract. Just no, that's just too much money to be playing around with Tesla. And but yeah, it does look like it is coming back in. And as I said in the pre-market session, that it had already hit the market maker expected move for the entire week, and it held out here for a little bit, but it eventually just kind of finally broke down. So um, I hope you guys didn't take it to the long side because um, whenever I saw it coming up here and just completely totally stopped out, I had a feeling this was going to happen and roll back down and it's going to be channeling in here. But basically, this week is going to really option holders. If you're holding them from day to day, you're really going to get burned on premium decay. So just keep that in mind. I think they're going to chop it sideways this week and really, really kill any option holders who are swinging this thing. So keep that in mind going forward. Well, that's pretty much what I had today, and that's some of the ideas that I got going on. Obviously, my weekend video has been completely, the thesis has been disavowed at this point. Maybe tomorrow the things will turn around, but man, these markets on fire, they keep short squeezing it further and further to the atmosphere. So, and it's going to keep doing that until I don't know how long. You know, with these central banks manipulating things and just keep pouring this money into the markets, it's hard to ever think that it's going to stop. We're going to have a major parabolic move to the upside at tech bubble and bottom line, and it's all going to fall apart one of these days. Okay, I'll talk to you later.